Hey, what's up everyone? This is Cassius Methyl. I'm finally back from Washington State right now, back in California, and I'm going to explain to you in a more first-hand medium through video what I think is going on in the next few weeks and months in astrology. As a preface to this, I'd like to say that my analysis of astrology is solely based on first-hand experience witnessing the same thing happen in the same aspect multiple times. Basically, I base my astrology on a first-hand observation of the astrological phenomena actually doing what it's alleged to do. I consider astrology to be a spiritual theory, and I emphasize the word theory because it can be difficult to phrase these spiritual theories as it's difficult to make them be credible if they're spoken as absolute fact rather than theory. They're still being tested, but I have a firm belief in astrology, and I've noticed repeatedly the reality of it. So moving forward, as much as other astrologers always say we're in a time of shift, we are really in a time of shift right now. There are aspects taking place in the sky that haven't taken place for, 84 years, the Uranus-Pluto square, since the year 1521, Neptune opposite Orcus. There's events happening that may have never happened. And it's not the rarity of these events that makes them significant, but they do something that we get to observe for the next several weeks. And we get to really see if this is what it does. Okay, so Orcus is a planet that's present in me and my best friend and a few other people I know. Orcus, before this whole Orcus activation occurred, that's what's happening right now. Orcus is being activated, among other things. Before this Orcus activation occurred and started peaking right now, I theorized that the meaning of the energy of the dwarf planet Orcus was a euphoric willpower, a strong sense of motivation and determination, and a unique, extremely strong willpower. A euphoric, strong willpower. Kind of like Capricorn, kind of like Leo, kind of like, I don't know, just a really strong euphoric willpower and motivation. So, I theorized this was the energy of Orcus because it's present in my full moon. Orcus is aligned with my full moon and opposite my sun. And it's aligned with my best friend's sun and Mercury. So I can feel this energy now in me and my friend. And I think my prediction was correct. We have a chance to objectively test this theory that I came up with before we felt this aspect, and it appears to be that my theory was correct, and that's exactly what we're feeling right now. Are we not feeling a collective increase of determination, willpower, desire to create something new? It seems like our goals and clarity are coming to a peak right now. We are coming to a peak of clarity, willpower, motivation, and formation, creation, at the same time as an increase of confusion, illusion, possible delusion, and those type of things. It's the archetype of Virgo versus Pisces, and those are two opposites in the zodiac, of course. And okay, so these are the events that we're witnessing right now this month. We're seeing Jupiter align with Orcus, Jupiter conjoining Orcus at 7 degrees Virgo to oppose Neptune at, I think, 7 degrees Pisces. Jupiter conjunct Orcus opposite Neptune in Pisces. Jupiter aligned with Orcus in Virgo opposite Neptune in Pisces. So, Virgo is, of course, the logical mind, rationality, the logical mind, the mechanical mind, everything that is concrete and tangible when it comes to reasoning. I'm a pretty Virgo-like person. My ascendant, my rising sign is Virgo, so I try to do things as precise as possible. Virgo is very precise, the definition of precision. So, with Jupiter in Virgo, we are currently being expanded by precision, refinement, and logic right now. The collective place of expansion in the sky right now, Jupiter in the sky right now, is in Virgo, in the energy of precision, refinement, logic. So that's what we're developing right now. The thing that will lead to collective expansion right now, of a few other things, is Virgo, as it's where Jupiter is. So this is a time of collective refinement of logic, getting down to tangibility, refining ideas, getting to logically prove or disprove things, using discernment. And with Jupiter opposite Neptune in its own sign of Pisces, both Neptune and Pisces being the dead opposite of Virgo, the opposite of logical reasoning, Neptune being creativity, free-flowing ideas, spirituality without any logical basis is governed by that too. With that, it's the archetypical battle between Virgo and Pisces, the logical mind and rational side of thinking versus the intuitive, free-flowing, imaginative, possibly fictional or elusive way of thinking. Logic versus intuition, creativity, and possible elusive thinking. This archetype going down in the sky, Orcus is being activated right in the center of this. And as it appears so far, the idea that I had about Orcus is pretty right. I feel the energy of Orcus being activated right now more than I can coherently articulate it at this time. I can feel it. I recognize it coming into the collective consciousness as I feel it in me and my best friend. I'm a very critical, discerning Virgo type person, as you probably know. But in the last year, I've gone through a major spiritual awakening, and that has heightened my intuitive abilities and abilities to see things like energies in people. I can see someone and be like, you have Uranus square your sun, because I recognize the energy coming from them, and I know it, and I can guess their astrological angles in their chart. I can say, you're this logical and reasonable and OCD. You have Mercury in Virgo, you know, something like that. So my intuitive ability to recognize these aspects is helping me tangibly prove the reality of them to even the most skeptical people. And the objective way to test astrology is to do this, is to test it, to say, okay, so this is what we're feeling in this angle. Jupiter opposite Neptune, what's happening in the sky this week, the next 2 weeks. So what happened last time Jupiter opposed Neptune? This week in my group, I'm going to go into these things, and we can logically and tangibly break down what happened in the past when these aspects hit. And understanding what happened in the past when these aspects hit will help us understand what might happen now. And if we were to find no correlation between the past same aspect as this same aspect, then I'd drop that from my philosophy and belief because it would be debunked. You know? So that's how I prove these aspects. And it's good to be back home. I'm going to keep making videos like this. I'm going to keep logically discerning truth from fiction. I'm going to keep doing this astrology. And much love, and thank you very much for the support. The next several videos I'm going to make are going to go into detail about what we're feeling with Jupiter conjunct Orcus opposite Neptune, and the final solar eclipse on Saturday, and the final blood moon, and everything else. So, much love. Peace.